Windows 8 is here, and I'm sure there are people that are thinking about upgrading or want to know more about it, and it's dirt cheap, so people are probably thinking maybe I should look at that Windows 8 thing and what's it all about. Some background, I'm running this in a virtual machine right now, so it's a little slower than it normally is. On my laptop, which has SSD, 8 gigs of RAM, and is fully tweaked out and everything, Windows 8, there's no question it's lightning fast. It loads in 7 seconds, apps are open instantly, no complaints at all about speed with Windows 8, as long as you have a good system. Unlike other people who started to review this the second they saw screenshots, I decided to wait and use it. It's been my main system for 8 months now. I've used it every single day, hours on end, every day. Other people started reviewing and started talking about the Metro interface and bashing it the second it came out, the second there were pictures released, every video that was uploaded. My take on it is, this is the Metro interface. This is what it looks like when it comes out of the box. After you log on, this is the first screen you see. It's, there are issues with Metro, not so much with the interface that replaced the start menu, which is what everyone who hadn't used it was complaining about. What I figured out is, I never use the start menu anyway, so the fact that this replaced the start menu doesn't really affect me. This is what it looks like out of the box. The second you hook it up online, it starts showing you stocks, it starts showing you news, it starts showing you what's trending on Bing, it starts showing you travel deals, the weather. Now, one thing I'll say about this is, this is probably great on a tablet. This is kind of like what I want my tablet to look like. Really nice on a tablet. How many times now have we seen this on a desktop, though? The first one would have been Pointcast back in like 97, 98, which was basically a screensaver that did this. It would show you your news and your weather and everything on a screensaver. They were crazy enough that they were going to sell everyone antennas, because back then people were complaining about they were using too much bandwidth, and the whole internet was running slow because of Pointcast. So they actually made these antennas, and we were going to get everything wirelessly over these little like pyramid antennas on our desk. Yeah, that didn't work. Then you had all the portals, Yahoo, iGoogle, all those things. You're going to come to a portal. It's not just a search engine anymore. It'll have your weather. Everything will be there on this portal. You get into your email. All failed. No one uses them. iGoogle's going to be gone next week. Google's constantly up for sale, on the verge of going out of business. Never worked. Then we had Active Desktop. Then we had widgets and gadgets and sidebars. This, no one cares about this. No one wants this. It's useless on a PC. People just open up their web browser, totally never look at these things, and if they want to read the news, they go to the news site. This is all useless. Now, the other issue with you can move all this stuff around real easily. Okay. If you right click on them, you can change the size. You can make that one smaller, or make it larger, and then you can pin it, and there's all kinds of little options. As far as I can tell, there is no way to make folders. You can, beyond moving them around and making little groups of tiles, there is no way to put any of this in folders and organize it. Which works good when you're in kind of the app universe of the tablet side of this, which is this. But once you start installing programs and using Windows, you start getting this. And it just goes on forever. It just keeps scrolling to the right forever, just putting more and more tiles down, and you can't put them in folders. So every time you install a program, you gotta like move them around. Like, I don't want VNC and VLC right next to each other, and So you gotta move everything around and start resizing tiles and give us some folders. All these big colorful squares are all the Metro apps. I'm going to skip over those for now because I'll show you what they do, and those are the major problem with Metro, not so much this screen that everyone focused on. Other thing here is you'll notice in the top corner I'm logged into, it says my Gmail account, but that's really my Microsoft account because my Gmail address is the login to what is now my Microsoft account. It's their latest attempt at, you know, the one password solution. They had .NET, everything. Now, your login on the desktop is your login to Microsoft, and you are logged into the whole MSN network and Microsoft and everything from the moment you log onto your computer. There are huge privacy issues. Everyone's going to freak out once they start playing around with this and once the general public sees this. I'm not going to show them in this video, but if you go in the back end to settings, there are about 1 billion different little switches and slides for privacy in Windows 8. Because of the whole Facebook thing, when Facebook kept getting nailed for not being customizable enough with privacy, now anything that goes online and shares your data, there's 1 billion little sliders which just make everything confusing. So you look at this, you look at the pretty colors, you click on desktop, this is where you live. I never use the Metro interface for anything. Every now and then I'll go back to it and I'll use it for search, but I'll show you that later and show you the problems with that. So now we have our desktop. It's, once you're here, except for the fact that you don't have a start menu anymore, it is pretty much just Windows 7. You can pin things to the toolbar. You can move your desktop around, right click. It's exactly the same as everything has always been on Windows 7. Two things that changed is if you want to go back, you either have to tap the Windows key or you go down to the corner and this pops up. To shut down the computer and to get to some other settings, you gotta kind of, you don't just move over here, you gotta kind of rub it just right. So I can't get it to pop up now. There you go. Rub it just right, and this pops up. And there's stuff in here they call gems. I have no clue why they're called gems or what they're supposed to do. To shut down the computer and to get into certain things, you can come in here and you get into the control panel and your good old system info and everything. And this is where you shut it down. Okay. Now this is where you'll hear a lot of the people who have played with this and review it. They refer to the two worlds in Windows 8. What that means is it's great that they're trying to integrate tablets and have one operating system and make everything uniform and you know, this cohesive experience between tablets, phones, and your desktop. The problem with that is they didn't do it well at all. So I'm on my desktop and I downloaded a couple of things so I could show them to you here. I want to look at a PDF, so I click on the PDF file, and that launches the Metro interface, which opens up full screen. It has no options. It's a really stripped down and useless version of any way to read a PDF. If you don't know what you're doing, how do I get out of this? Oh, maybe the plus button or the minus button do something? No. There's a slider. There's nothing else anywhere. How do I get out of this? Oh wow, hand pops up. That's not doing nothing for me. You gotta tap the Windows key, which brings you back to the Metro interface. Instead of back to the desktop, we're back at the Metro interface. And now you gotta click desktop again. Now where's that PDF? That PDF now, because it's a Metro interface, it lives over here, and you gotta rub this side of the screen to get to those. So I have a picture. Let me look at this cute little animal picture. It's some kittens hiding in a cup. I really want to look at that. Here we go again, full screen. Wait for it to load. How do I get out of this? What's going on? Where am I? What's this? I don't know, where am I? Tap the Windows key again. Go back to the desktop again. You'll see now there are two things living up here. If you want to close these, you gotta rub here, click on them, and close them. There's two different worlds. I should not have to. Those programs are beautiful on a tablet. They suck on a PC. You need separate apps for each device. Even if the interface is the same, even if this Metro part of it's going to look the same, that's great. I don't want these big, full-screen, horrible apps. Even Internet Explorer, well, that time it didn't do it. I must have changed something by accident when I was playing around before. There's even a Metro version of Internet Explorer that opens up full screen when you click on it. Now, here's the other thing. I'm going to shrink this down, shrink the virtual machine down, and I'm going to go to my Windows Server, which is basically the same as Windows 7. There's so much stuff that was great in Windows 7, but the best thing that they got best was there was finally a way to do everything with a keyboard, and I didn't need to constantly click through menus. I can get anywhere in Windows 7 or Windows Server 2008 in just a few keystrokes without touching my mouse. All you do is tap the Windows key. I'm still in the Metro. Let me get out of that. Tap the Windows key. Start menu pops up. You're instantly in the search box. Let's say I want to do some stuff with a hard drive. I can just type Discman. And there's Windows Disk Management. Say I want to do something with folder options, so just tap the Windows key, type folder options, enter, there are my folder options. It's beautiful, it's perfect. You don't even need to know the name of what you're looking for. As long as you can get somewhat close to it, it will usually find it for you. It's the most amazing thing Microsoft ever did in Windows as far as I'm concerned. So, now we come back to Windows 8. This is my #1 complaint about Windows 8. We go back to the desktop. Let's say I want to launch the Disk Management Console again. Tap the Windows key. Screen pops up. You'll notice there's no search box, so you kind of know that you can do this. Whenever you're on the Metro screen, you're in the search screen already. You just start typing, even though there's no prompt to let you know you could do that. So we type Discman. Remember before it just popped up and we hit enter? Well, now it separates them into categories for some reason. So I can't just hit enter. So I gotta go to settings, and now I gotta come over here, and now I gotta go through a whole bunch more clicks. It's goofy. And you'll notice Discman isn't even the first one. For some reason, View System Resources and Manager is. So, for some reason they took a step backwards on the search for no reason at all. So now we'll tap the Windows key again. We'll go back to the desktop, and here we are on the desktop again. Now, like I said, for me, a lot of this doesn't matter, because personally, I never use the start menu. Having the search be messed up drives me nuts. A lot of people are going to have major privacy issues with the fact that Windows logs you on automatically now. As far as crashing and stability, I don't think it's ever really crashed on me. Every now and then I'll have an app go bad on me and have to kill an app. But that's about it. For the most part, it's the same as Windows 7. It's definitely not worth the upgrade. And things like the Metro interface stuff is going to drive people nuts. I mean, people aren't going to put up with this opening when they click on a PDF until they install something else. So I can't even remember how to get out of it right now. So that's Windows 8. All in all, not horrible. There's no reason to really buy it, and there's certain things they did wrong, and it's just not smooth and polished at all. It's a bunch of tablet apps and a tablet interface stuffed on top of a PC for no reason. Let's face it, it's all the cell phones. They want people to see this every day, and they want someone who doesn't know anything about computers or technology or phones are going to wander into the phone store, and they're going to have an Android, an iPhone, and a Windows phone sitting in front of them, and they're going to go, well, I use my PC every day and that looks just like my PC, so I already know how that works. I'll get the one that works with my PC. I know this is going to work with my PC. Look at it, it looks just like it. That's the whole reason for this. Basically, I mean, if you have a phone and a tablet, it might be worth it. I don't know. The Windows Surface isn't out yet, so I can't review that. And I don't have a Windows 7 phone, so who knows. But there it is. Not as horrible as everyone says it is. Not the end of the world like everyone says it is, but pretty pointless if you ask me. See you in the next video.